teruskan bisnes kau ni.
Tengok ni. Ada bisnes ke?
Aku nak naik tinggi sampai ke atas. Bye-bye pekan Sleepy. Aku akan Gon. Apa yang Gon? Part tu. Aku masih dekat pekan Sleepy ni lagi.
Awak owner sini?
Ya, saya. Ini tempat saya.
Sebab tahu tak kat mana saya ni dengan budak-budak saya nak lepak atau stay satu malam ke? Ni.
Ini adalah kawasan pasca peperangan. Penderitaan ini satu kenikmatan.
Let's go! Right.
Ada fans stop kau.
Even in Pekan Sleepy?
Fans aku bila nak stop aku pula? Stop lah.
Awak sebenarnya boleh letak dekat. So kita kena buat aktiviti yang relax.
Kita orang pekan ni semua sleepy.
Bangun!
Aku tolong tidur
It just means that korang semua dah nak tidur je untuk selesaikan masalah.
Orang bandar ni mugi juga kan? Biasalah, yang ni special.
What is this now?
Welcome to the world of hardcore gamers. Kepada sesiapa yang ada heart condition, please hati-hati dengan game yang anda main.
Mantap! Lorang memang mantap! Tahu tak?
Sightseeing tour bus and we're going to see around Taipei and see what it looks like at night. And actually, right, on this bus you can actually claim alcoholic or non-alcoholic drinks depending on what you like.
Yep.
So before we start, let's claim our drinks.
Let's go! It's actually nice, guys.
trickier to be seen these days.
This is about you.
So many amazing talented artists out there. I want to use my platform to push them into the world.
Now I'm trying to find my musical identity.
The anxiety of if I'm good enough.
My brain goes off as a creative in like 100 different directions, thinking about 100 million different things at once.
I don't really have anyone to like bounce things off of.
Right now, together with JBL, our main goal is to inspire, to educate, to be a safe place and give new creatives a voice.
It's difficult to make your voice heard.
I would like my music to reach more people.
I can honestly say music is my passion and I would not see myself doing anything different.
Try to be up there, try to be focused, try to be sharp, try to always reinvent yourself.
This is your moment to dare. Dare to strut. To self-care. Or not care. Dare to turn up. And unwind. And try. Again and again. Because when you dare to live your truth, you dare the world to listen.
Give me silence, silence, I just need your touch. Know your violence, violence hides on the tip of your tongue. In the darkness, darkness, we go on and on. Always under pressure. When you talk like that, no, you make me see red. Still end up in my bed. No, I want that sweat.
For me, working on the set list for Tomorrowland, I'm just thinking to myself, what do I want to hear when I'm in the crowd? When you have the amazing stage, the fireworks, all the craziness. That's how I prepare for the set. For me, every set is different. It's very important to read the crowd, to feel the energy in the room, and to adapt your set and your track list on that. I cannot imagine my life without music. So for me, a playlist is the soundtrack to your life, in a way. When I start my set at Tomorrowland, I know which new songs I want to play, but everything else in between for me is a big mystery. I know my intro and my outro, and for me that's the exciting thing. It's a puzzle, and depending on the crowd's response, depending on the energy, depending on how they feed off the previous songs that I played, I try to take them on a journey.
Okay, guys, let me just dial in real quick. How does that sound? Right? Yeah.
Hey, you said it, not me. Yeah. Hey, he knows what I'm talking about.
Tony, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, really. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm out. Thanks for supporting Stream Dream. Catch y'all later.
They were having a huge sale today, so you know I had to stock up on everything. And I came across this amazing eyeshadow, and you guys are gonna absolutely love this look.
It is going to make you glow.
So I'm going to this one right here.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM. Vader.
Your team destroyed a turret.
This is your moment to dare. Dare to strut. To self-care. Or not care. Dare to turn up. And unwind. And try. Again and again. Because when you dare to live your truth, you dare the world to listen.
Okay, guys, let me just dial in real quick. How does that sound? Right? Yeah.
Hey, you said it, not me. Yeah. Hey, he knows what I'm talking about.
Tony, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, really. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm out. Thanks for supporting Stream Dream. Catch y'all later.
They were having a huge sale today, so you know I had to stock up on everything. And I came across this amazing eyeshadow, and you guys are gonna absolutely love this look.
It is going to make you glow.
So I'm going to use this one right here.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Asia Esports Festival. My name is Churros. With me here is Uncle Abstract, and today we are bringing in the weekend with Mobile Legends. Why are you lying on the... Man, it's a Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good time. Before we continue, I want to thank all the organizers who made this possible. M1, Game.gg, and Element X. We were talking a little bit about Element X before the stream started. It was very interesting. I thought it was an actual mall, right? What exactly is Element X?
Alright, so the main thing about Element X that you guys gotta know is that it is basically all set in VR. So all you gotta do is that wherever you are, anywhere around the world, you'll be able to visit Element X. And Element X is pretty much an infrastructure in virtual reality. And all you gotta do is that you'll be able to visit all the malls. There are retail shops. There's a lot of there's even edutainment stores. There's a lot of things that you can do.
Edutainment.
Yeah, this is like, edutainment, educational entertainment.
Oh, right. It's sort of like using Minecraft for education kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a nice little hybrid so that you guys get educated while being entertained at the same time. So, edutainment. That, in case you guys don't know, that's a new word for you.
Oh, and that's a very interesting thing because, like, I've always thought like malls have a sort of like this really nice feeling when you enter a mall and you have like all the other five senses. But right now it's just virtual and everything going over digitally. And this is what Asia Esports Festival is. I mean, this is our first like online sort of like tournament, and this will be the exciting conclusion of the Mobile Legends Bang Bang competition between the winners of the SG and the winners of the MY competition. So for Singapore, we have the Berries versus Wonder of Ohio, and Malaysia we have Team Lama against Terrifier 10. What do you think of this lineup?
Well, honestly, from what I have casted in the previous week, or rather the week before last week, we can definitely tell that all of these teams, they definitely have got a very good fundamentals on their side, and of course they are teams that generally ain't too afraid to fight. So whenever possible, they will always want to take fights, and I'm not too sure whether the aggressive mode is actually going to be very good for them. Maybe when it comes down to this finals, they are starting to feel some reservations. Perhaps they will start to feel like, there's a lot more things at stake, and then they'll start to play a little bit more passively. Yes, a little bit more resident sleeper if it's like
resident sleeper, yeah.
But undoubtedly, when it comes down to MLBB, we all love action. We all want to see fights, and when it comes down to fights, a lot of decision making must be made. And in the end of the day, the Singapore qualifiers as well as the Malaysian qualifiers, they gotta have to fight each other out by understanding who has got the better decision making.
Yeah, and actually, what I want to see is something interesting, like the draft and the bands coming up. And without further ado, let's just jump straight into the game. We'll take a look at what these teams are going to be doing. We are going to be having Made in Ohio, or like actually Wonders of Ohio, against Barry. Wonders of Ohio is going to be on the blue team, and Berries are going to be on the red team. So immediately right off the bat, Kaja's going to get banned out. Joy is going to be sitting in the bench as well. I see very, very familiar names. That's Sammy Snowman, I think.
Yep.
Made in Ohio. Do you know who is Made in Ohio?
Unfortunately, I don't just yet.
But it's like SMG,
they always
right?
change names. They're always changing names. There could be a chance that Made in Ohio is a new player into SMG. There could be a chance that this is they have got a new player into SMG for certain tournaments, like for example for Asia Esports Festival. Maybe it could be a chance that they are just kind of like shuffling a couple of players into the squads every now and then. You know, there is also like the MWI. Some of the teams have gotten new players into their squads, so on and so forth. Like Stellar, for example, they got some MWI players in the squad right now.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting that you brought that up. And I've also seen a lot of Yawn, actually. He changed his name a couple of times because one of his names were... You cannot show it on screen. If you remember, if you know what I'm talking about. But Yawn is a is a monster in the jungle. Wants to pick up that Fanny first. First pick Fanny. I've never seen that for the longest time. Usually you want to pick something that is on the meta, but maybe he's super comfortable with this hero, and I don't doubt that at all. He is undoubtedly one of the best assassins in Singapore, and I'm going to be seeing in the MPL Singapore as well. But on the other side of the spectrum, Berries is going to be picking up that Valentina, and the Beatrix Valentina, as we all know, sort of like structures the ban phase in their favor. So I think it is a good pick for now. What do you think the potential is for this Valentina pick over against Wonders of Ohio?
Well, right now, the Valentina pick isn't going to change, is not going to affect them a lot. The only thing that they will be able to steal away is going to be Fasa's Feathered Airstrike.
Right.
But if we were to take a look at the other heroes that's currently available, such as, or rather other roles, Roam is definitely one thing that they would want to look out for, and understandably, the Marksman they gotta have to look out for as well. Normally, we wouldn't expect much from the Marksman as to what kind of impactful ultimate that they will be able to dish out. So we'll look at the roaming counterparts, right? Roaming counterparts, we are looking at Grok. The Wild Charge is definitely something that we can take a look at. Steel, Atlas's Fatal Links is great. When it comes down to Arkai as well, that is definitely great. So we do have a lot of ultimates that this Valentina could steal, and something that could really work out for them. At this point in time, they do have a Lapu Lapu, which is not necessarily too afraid of all of these crowd controls.
Right.
So looking at a tit for a tat, as long as their team is not afraid of crowd control, which is a Lapu Lapu being able to hold in the front lines, the opponents right here, which is with Wonders of Ohio, they might actually have a little bit of difficulty using the Akai or the Grog. Maybe they should look at some other roams that is more bursty, a roam that can really just surprise the opponents as much as possible.
So talking about the pick-off kind of roam, sort of like a Selena or a Hilda for that matter, I think what would be interesting is they pick a support roam. You talk a little bit about the tank, but the support actually had a small little update. So if you guys back home don't know this, the previous update for the supports give a little bit of vision play in the brushes. So using your first skill as an Angela, using your second skill, the circle as your Atlas, as your Estes, sorry. You give a little bit more vision play. So that provides a lot more potential for both teams, especially when you have a Fanny right there. An interesting pick would be an Angela. I mean, if they want to rock their new skin as well, I mean, it could be an interesting pick going up against the rest of the other team. And Sammy is going to be hovering over the Erythel. We're not sure which is he's going to pick yet. Clint is always a very, very safe hero. Yeah. Yesterday, I got like 2 savages with a Clint. So, like, he's definitely a very, very strong marksman. But it is going to be Brody and Matilda. And
okay, I like it.
Matilda is good because you give a lot of vision play. Her kit provides engage, disengage, a little bit more sustainability if you buy Favor as your roaming boot equipment. And as well as a little bit of a shield. It pairs very well with a tanky hero, sort of like a Fredrin. So just bring him right into the back line, and he just taunts everyone there. Buys a lot of time for the rest of the team to clean up.
Right. So right now we've got all of the heroes that's already been picked. The final pick coming in from the right team, we are looking at a Grog. So Barry's, they have got a very good idea as to what they're looking out for. They do have a very sweet balance of frontline defenses, backline damages, and perhaps even a couple of pick-off if they're looking at the Lancelot for that kind of occasion. They do have split push mechanics that they can actually work around with. Lancelot does have the mobility that we could look out for. However, I don't expect that Lancelot, which is of course the jungler, would want to focus too much onto split pushing. When it comes down to lockdown potential, the only thing that we're looking out for probably is going to be Grog. We don't really expect much from Grog, you know, kind of like going in together with who again? Lapu Lapu, Lady Karma, or perhaps even with User. I would believe that it's mostly about opening up the maps, opening up the brushes as much as possible. With Wonders of Ohio, they have an issue which is opening up the brushes. The only thing that they do have when it comes down to tankiness is going to be the Fredrin, which will only be unlocked if the first turret is destroyed in either side, the EXP or the gold lane, which will take some time. Definitely past 5 minutes. Then only the Fredrin will be able to join team fights.
Well, I do agree with you, but you know, this is a best of 3. So typically most teams would like to test each other's mettle in the first game of the series, right?
Yes.
So usually I think Wonders of Ohio, they want to try something like sort of like a pick-off combined with a little bit of a split push strategy, which you can see when Fanny tries to jump over the rest of the offside, try to clear their turret, and then join in the team fights. Because basically, you don't really need a Fanny to come in and join you in any of the team fights just yet. You can hold your own. With the 4 members that you have right there. Fanny is just there for cleanup, and you do see that Fanny building up on equipping the high and dry. So every time you are alone, that is where she'll capitalize on that high and dry emblem as well and take you down. And there they can cycle the enemy's team to secure objectives much easily. But I won't write off berries just yet because, like you said, they do have a little bit more tankiness in them. Sustainability, not so much. I'm not really a big fan of the Lapu Lapu pick. Yes, he is able to go straight to their backline, but with Jay picking up that Matilda, it's sort of like a counter pick to a Lapu Lapu because you're able to bring your ring condition, maybe the Brody out of range from that Lapu Lapu and giving yourself more time and space.
I think that there is going to be a little bit of a different kind of play for Barry, but hold on a second. Killua almost actually going down to the hands of Lapu Lapu. When it comes down to the EXP lane, it's relatively fair to say that both Lapu Lapu as well as Fredrin are very safe picks. Hold on a second. Made it in Ohio. It kind of seems as though he did manage to get himself away with a final line of the flicker. Was it just me or was that kind of like a flick? Was kind of like a feather airstrike on the feather airstrike? A little bit confusing there. But as we were talking about pickoffs, that is going to be the Fanny that didn't manage to come in to clean off the rest of the members from the side of Barry. They did manage to lose the turtle, unfortunately. But right now, just the Matilda doing Matilda things, I suppose.
Yeah, and they picked off the Lady Karma just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
For that, Yon just coming in with the cleanup. I really like how Yon was just patiently waiting on the offside, just farming up. And with that cables, you best be sure she's going to be anywhere on the map just with a snap, right? And what I like about the Matilda, I mean, you've seen that just sending Killua out of the way from any of the skirmishes that you don't want to take. I mean, what we're seeing now, I mean, we talked about this before the start of the game. It might be a little bit of a slow game, a little bit more boring, so to speak. But the teams, they are patient. They are very disciplined in knowing when to fight and when to back off. And both teams, they are pretty much on the same tier in terms of the skill level. So I'm pretty excited to see how this plays down, especially in the later stages of the game. Looking at both teams' composition, they will only really shine in the later stages. But hold on a second right here. Killua, Appraiser's Wrath, tries to push Hen Wilhelm away.
it's not going to be too much of an issue. Knowing that Lapu Lapu does have sustainability on himself, he would definitely be able to out-lane this Fredrin in most occasion. So at least when it comes down to EXP lane, we know that this 1v1 encounter, Barry will always have an advantage. When it comes down to the gold lane, you can kind of tell that Wonders of Ohio will have an advantage solely because of the fact that they are a pick-off team. This will put the I suddenly forgot it. This is Maxi. It will put Maxi in a very tough spot. That's why for the past few minutes, Maxi is always standing behind the turret in the brushes and trying to get himself out of the way.
Ooh, almost making it out of there. Sammy does not have his torn apart memories. Would have been an easy kill because you have like 4 stacks on Lady Karma. The rest of Barry, very quick with the rotations though. Like they understand that like, hey, my gold lane is having a little bit of a problem right here. Let us push in and just give him a little bit more backup. We know that Maxi is the main win condition, and like we talked about in the off camera, right? We talked about like how the marksman in this meta is really the cherry on top of the cake. It's always giving time for them to farm up. You don't really see them in the early stages of the game, and as a marksman, you cannot die. You cannot die until at least 8 minutes into the game when the first Lord is spawned up, and that's where you shine and come in, join in the team fights.
Unless, of course, you kind of lose in your own goal lane, which is technically understandable. There will always be a winner and there will always be a loser when it comes down to playing the goal lanes. In this case, we can definitely tell that Wonder of Ohio's Brody is having a very good time, while our very dear Maxi is not doing a very good job at all. I'm kind of surprised, right? Barry, they're not focusing onto Maxi at all. Lady Karma, Stardust, they're actually focusing more onto the middle lanes, and I can sort of understand their priorities, right? They want to zone the members of Wonders of Ohio out as much as possible, but in the meantime, that means that they're gonna have to sacrifice something in the meantime.
Ooh, that was a very, very quick kill right from that bottom lane. But on the mid lane though, Stardust in a spot bother, looks like he'll be making it out alive without much help right there. But the gold lane from Wonder of Ohio, Brody is doing exceptionally well. I'm really curious to see what the itemizations are. I mean, 6 minutes into the game, I'm not too sure. Ooh, Jay.
Kind of seems as though the Feather Airstrike did manage to pop this Matilda all the way down to a sliver, but not quite enough to bring her down.
Oh, the damage!
Lady Karma leaves himself with just a critical HP. Yawn literally went in and out, and that was a lot of burst damage coming in for both the Valentina and the Fanny. But one thing's for sure is that the Fanny did manage to get himself away. 3-0 is the current scoreline for this Fanny, and I'm expecting to see this Fanny go even crazier later.
Wonders of Ohio is pretty much doing the protect the president strategy. I know you don't really like the protect the president strategy name, but it is what it is, right? You see the Matilda and you see the Farsa always protecting, bodyguarding, but the retribution battle is won by the Lancelot on the side of Berries. They are taking 3 turtles easily, even with Wonders of Ohio doing a very good, I might add, turtle dance in the early stages of the game.
It's kind of expected, I'm gonna have to say, with the Demon Hunter emblem coming onto the side of Lancelot. Lancelot wants to focus a little bit more onto objective, while Wonders of Ohio wants to focus a bit more on kills as well as domination, which both of these teams are actually doing very effectively well, which will explain why their economy are pretty much neck and neck. Whatever that happens from this point onwards, as long as there's a big 5 versus 5 fight, which I assume is going to be 80 seconds from now, which is the fight for the Lord, the one team that wins is going to get a massive amount of increase when it comes down to economy, and this would very effectively bring a single team up to maybe 4,000 gold lead. And from that point onwards, there will be a huge amount of difficulty being put.
Oh, this Fanny is just a monster right now. 4-0-0. In 8 minutes of the game, it's just split pushing his way through. Doesn't really care about the objectives, but Wonders of Ohio, they need to find a way to convert all these easy pickoffs to the objectives. But as I speak, Jay goes down by Lady Karma's Feather Airstrike, stolen away from Made in Ohio.
4-1 is the current scoreline, and yet both of these teams are completely neck and neck when it comes down to the economy. We can pretty much expect that Yon is pretty much on a timer to a certain extent, because Yon can only get his farm mostly through kills, while we can expect that the Lancelot is getting farm in a consistent way through the lanes as well as the jungle. As long as the Lancelot is constantly moving around, getting himself the farm, of course, this is not something that we would expect and want to see from a Lancelot. A Lancelot is an assassin after all, getting kills is the best way possible, but when it comes down to Lancelot versus a Fanny, I don't expect that the Lancelot will be able to win.
Oh, Yon with the execution onto Lapu Lapu. Easy touch and go.
Masterful play from Yon. It doesn't seem like he took any time at all to even think about getting a kill onto Hen. He knew when he go in, or rather before he went in, he knew that he wants to go for the kill on Hen. Already plotted out the graph as to where he's gonna cable, which wall he's gonna hit on, and that is all great. In the meantime, it's gonna be Stardust being put down into the grave as all 4 members from Wonders of Ohio is throwing all of their available projectiles right onto this rock wall.
Actually, Barry is playing into Wonders of Ohio strategy. They are split pushing very effectively. Look at Yon just easily taking down that Lancelot from the other side. But Lapu Lapu over here just rotating and just defending. The rest of Barry's they're either playing a bushwhack position, trying to get an easy pickup onto Wonders of Ohio. Any members will do, right? Or they are defending their turrets. And it's pretty much they're running around like hitless chickens, like a fish in a barrel, so to speak. Just nothing to do, just waiting on Wonders of Ohio's turn to strike, and then they reiterate or they retaliate with the next move. But it doesn't seem to be working out for Berries. What they need to do is get Maxi to farm up.
And unfortunately, the farming time is not going to be now, as the members from the side of Wonders of Ohio are just going to be forcing the advantage down onto Barry. Hen immediately puts himself right in the opponent's side, or rather is going to be User. He's going to be taken down by the opponent's Fasa, and definitely not going to be looking good. Killua completely forced out with the Guardian's Barrier, but luckily, because of the fact that there is a Guardian Wing, it's just going to be getting him out, and Yon doing Yon things, I gotta say. 70 kills, no death, no assist. This guy is coming in out of nowhere, and whoever is lower than 58% HP is undoubtedly going to be knifed down.
Little bit of a aggression coming in from Wonders of Ohio, and they should be a little bit more aggressive. They can afford to, because the Lord is marching down on that bottom side lane. It does look like Wonders of Ohio, they are staying as a 4-to-1 unit. So 4 members just protecting Sammy. Understand that Sammy is the late game win condition, but as we all know, this is the comeback mechanic that Mobile Legends has. Try to push the enemy team way too deep inside their clutches and underneath turret range, and so you can take them down easily. But Yon surviving on a pixel of health.
All of that zoning from the side of Wonders of Ohio has made it all work. They did manage to bring down the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane, and so did they manage to remove the inner turret in the middle lane. Wonders of Ohio definitely is going to be rather contented at the fact that this Lord did manage to pull some dividends onto the map. Unfortunately, I believe that they would definitely want to bring down the inner turret in the top lane as well. There's a slight bit of a jam at the top side, you know, a little bit of a congestion. I'm pretty sure that the Mega Creeps is just going to be moving in, but it's definitely not going to be that easy. Lapu Lapu is right in front of the enemy's lines. It kind of seems as though he's getting a little bit ahead of himself, but realizes that he's a little bit out of place. He gets himself out, but this is going to make the Valentina in a very bad spot instead. We do have the rest of the members from the side of Wonders of Ohio that is just going to be completely blasting Barry out of the way. And Jay, unfortunately, you baited!
A little bit of a disrespect right here, but Yon from the flank out of nowhere!
Literally weaving through the wall and the turret. Yon does not see any obstacles between him and the enemies at all.
That grants him a legendary, and rightfully so. Yon is a master at using this Fanny. Just in the morning, just warming up his fingers for the first match of the game. Man, it's going to be a very, very tough defense coming in from Berries.
Yeah, it will be. With the Mega Creeps moving down to the bottom side, Lady Kama is the one that is in charge of defending that. In the end of the day, Wonders of Ohio did not manage to push out the inhibitor turret, but hey, let's put it out there. The inhibitor turret in the middle lane and the top lane has suffered massive amount of damage. And right now, Wonders of Ohio is just going to be working their way onto the Lord, which unfortunately, Barry, they can't contest for this at all. The next upcoming Lord is undoubtedly going to be the end of all of the inhibitor turrets, and I don't think that Barry Breakfast is ready for any kind of clear. Yes, they do have a team that is pretty darn good when it comes down to wave management. Having a Burnett, having a Burnett onto Beatrix. They do have the Lancelot as well. Not to forget, Stardust will be able to clear waves pretty darn fast as well. I should be expecting that Barry will be able to do a very good job in that. However, we cannot discount of the fact that Wonders of Ohio, they do have heroes that can zone these players out. And Barry will be very afraid.
Oh, the first skirmish coming in, Lord marching down.
That's
Yawn
close.
from that flank tries to get Maxi. The win condition for Barry's. As long as Maxi stays alive and just stays safe, dealing the damage from range, he will be able. Oh, the Praise's Wrath misses Stardust just by a little bit.
Good flicker coming in from the Grog. He did manage to save his life for a little while longer. The Nibiru's
Here comes Yawn.
Oh, Nibiru's Passion put him in the stationary spot a little bit too long as Yawn came in to assassinate him almost right in the nick of time. While we're going to be looking at the rest of the members from the Sound of Wonders of Ohio, all of them are still pretty much healthy. They're going to be focusing on the core a little bit more as now Lady Karma pops off with the Feathered Airstrike. It doesn't seem like he was able to do quite much, but he will definitely put Jay down to the ground. Or perhaps not. He does have shields, and in the meantime, Sammy's going to turn things around, and here comes Yawn once again, all the way from downtown. Sniped the people off with a quick little dance of himself.
That was a very, very quick fight over the side of Wonders of Ohio. And man, that was just super structured. They set up what they were supposed to do. Split pushing coming in from Fanny. MVP goes over to that to Yawn on that Fanny, and rightfully so. I mean, you see him everywhere. He was invisible.
Effortless.
He was invincible.
Yeah, it's bloody effortless coming in from Yawn. Because when it comes down to the lineup of Killua, Sammy, Made in Ohio, and Jay, they all have got very good utility and of course very good high ground, especially for Made in Ohio, right? As long as you pop off with the Feather Airstrike, as long as you hit one person each with a single Airstrike, I'm pretty sure that Yawn will be able to come in to clean up the rest. Killua will be able to buy a lot of time. Sammy will be able to finish things off as well, be it the Bruiser or the Executioner, whatever that you want to see. The Torn Apart Memory is a great way to execute the opponents. While Jay, he's just nasty. He's just nasty, yeah.
You just see how he just walked into that turret range and it just bounces your way out.
Yes.
It's like it's nothing.
It is undoubtedly, yes, a very nasty thing to see. But number one, you guys gotta have to understand the causes and the effect, right?
Yeah.
Having a Mathilda doing that. Number one, if you get close to Mathilda, you get attacked and you get hit by the Soul Bloom. That means that you gotta go back home to heal because you are gonna be injured for the upcoming fight. Number two, the Mathilda is gaining vision for his fellow team so that they know where is the next point of attack.
Right.
Number three, zoning. As long as the Mathilda is able to zone everyone else out, or the rest of the objective can be done, clearing out the jungles can be done, it is undoubtedly increasing the income gap between these two teams.
Right, analyzing the fact that Mathilda is able to do that means that, you know, Barry's need to find a way to lock down a hero. It all boils down to that draft.
Yes.
There wasn't a single hero with a single stun.
Yes.
It's not like a single reliable stun. To be able to lock that Mathilda down underneath turret range and inside your base, it was just break down from there, and then they were just scrambling around. Yes, Lady Karma did a lot of damage.
Yes.
But it wasn't enough.
Not quite.
You cannot burst them down if you do not have a crowd control mechanism right there. Understanding that you're facing up against a team with high sustainability, high mobility, especially with just that Mathilda pick alone, it's going to be very difficult for you to handle if you do not have a single target lockdown. So that was the breakdown in terms of the picks coming in from Barry. So looking forward to the next game. It is a best of 3, so 2 more games for Barry's to prove themselves. They should be thinking about, okay, we tested water in the first game. We understand that the assassins are going to be a problem for us. So why not let's just take out Yawn's hero, or we take out the mobility heroes, or we counter pick with something with a suppression like a Franco or even a Kaja.
Yes.
Leave that wide open.
Yep.
before like banning anything of them out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when it comes down to Wonders of Hio's drafting, they are definitely very good with the drafting.
Yeah.
You'll definitely be able to tell. Number one, there is a Valentina on the opponent side, and number two, there's a Lapu Lapu on the opponent side.
Yes.
If you're going to be picking any heroes that have crowd control, you're undoubtedly going to be playing into the hands of onto Barry. That means that you give the Valentina crowd control, and the Lapu Lapu is not afraid of that. So instead, with a single sweep, they don't care about a crowd control hero. They don't care about a roamer that can do all of that. Atlas, Grog, nor Akai. Mathilda was the right answer.
Yes.
The only thing that the Valentina could steal was the Feathered Airstrike. I don't think that he will want to steal away the Circling Eagle after all. And the Lapu Lapu, the greatest assets of Lapu Lapu is being able to resist all of the crowd control and deliver damage back to your opponents. This way, Lapu Lapu was kind of useless to a certain extent.
Yeah.
If the Fredrin was for Barry instead, and then the Lapu Lapu was actually for Wonders of Ohio, I would say that Barry would definitely have a way better time.
Correct. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think it all boils down to what you want to pick out in the early stage of the game. But that begs the question, is that Matilda or is that Fredrin actually worthy of a priority ban? Knowing that like Wonders of Ohio does very well with these two heroes, and they sort of like solidified that composition. I mean, you can still pick a Fanny as a first pick. For if you're Wonders of Ohio, you can still give them that Fanny, but try to prioritize something with a lockdown first. Either a Atlas or even a Franco. And Franco, we've seen him out of the meta for some time. He was very, very pivotal in the early stages of this season, remember? But it does look like Wonders of Ohio is going to be banning out the Fanny, so understanding that they won't be facing off against a Fanny, the Joy will be picked out. I like this Joy pick. I mean, I've seen that quite a bit. Joy is a early game monster. It's just insane, crazy, able to dish out high levels of aggression into your enemy's jungle and choke them out in terms of their farm. So you're delaying their farming rate, delaying their economy, delaying their objectives, and if you do it right, if you play your cards right, you're able to snowball your way through. But it does look like Wonders of Ohio is picking up the same comfort heroes. Actually, not the same. Sammy is going to be going for that Beatrix first, and Killua on the Fredrin.
Well, of course, the caveat of having a Joy is number one, clears the jungle a little bit slow.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Number two is that Joy is kind of a snowball hero. It's kind of have like the same concept as. Okay, never mind, we'll throw that out of the window because of the fact that there is a Hayabusa. The Joy is no longer going to be playing in the jungle. I'm slightly happy about the fact that Joy will be going to the EXP, just not a Joy in the gold lane, because a Joy just doesn't really fulfill the role as a mid lane mage hero.
Right.
At least for me, right? Not enough burst. For Joy is really just
but for you, even Cyclops is not even a
Cyclops. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
But I beg to differ a lot because of the fact that Joy has immense amounts of mobility.
Yes,
being in the mid position and able to clear out the walker minions waves very fast, and then rotate over to that offsides makes her a really viable hero for that mid lane, because you know that mid lane is not supposed to like just push away and just fight a 1v1. Your job is to join in team fights and join in skirmishes on the offside, which makes Joy a very, very viable hero in the mid lane. But she is very flex. You are able to play Joy in the EXP lane, and I've seen that quite a bit. The fact that you play her in EXP lane means you are able to cut the waves and then just annoy your opponent's jungles. So that is what I like about That's Joy. But Jay, on the other hand, counter picks straight away with that Franco. And this is what I'm talking about. You have a single target stun, a reliable suppression skill, which is able to lock any one of the members down. I mean, if you take a look at the side of berries, all they are missing is crowd control. And this is something that, man, I don't know if they should pick the Matilda. They should pick a Lolita or something with a really reliable crowd control. Something like Balearic would work as well. The Matilda, though, maybe they have something going on for them. It might be the Matilda Bruno combo that we are used to seeing, but I think the crowd control will be their Achilles heel, or the lack of it.
Okay, so I think that what they're trying to go for is kind of like it's just it's also kind of like a sacrifice, right? They're not really trying to go for something that really crowd controls the enemy, because why do you want to prolong a fight when you can clean out the fight as fast as you can?
Yes.
So at least that is what Barry is probably trying to look out for. All strike. Every single one of these heroes out there, they have potential to deal damage. You kill one of our guys, never mind, 4 other players can kill you. There's a lot of other win condition that we can possibly see from this. Leaving a Hayabusa alone, you can expect that you will get picked off. Leaving a Lunox alone, you can expect that your Lord is just going to be busted down real quickly. Or perhaps if you're looking at Ruby Didi, that is definitely something that what a Lunox is capable of doing.
Yeah.
When it comes down to Mathilda, leave her alone. Someone gets saved. Soul Bloom still gets great amount of damage. You still have a crowd control from
you still have vision play with that as well.
Exactly. So in the end of the day, every single one of these heroes have got great amount of value onto themselves. But the only way to really pull this lineup off is that you have economy control. As long as you are ahead, you don't have to care about what kind of defensive maneuvers that Wonders of Ohio have, or what kind of crowd control that they have. You will outright beat them with the quickness of your damage skills.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2 between Berries on the blue side and Wonders of Ohio on the red team. Wonders of Ohio, one more game, and they solidify their victory in the SG finals. And moving on to the grand finals, where they will face off against the winner of Malaysia. And this, starting off, showing a lot of aggression in the early stages of the game. Wonders of Ohio already having a very strong stance in lane. Having a Lilia facing off a Lunox is going to be very tough. Maxi, right here. Ooh, almost getting caught by Jade. Does get caught by Jade. Oh, Sammy, an easy kill over the side.
What a hook, I gotta have to say. Definitely not something that we'll be expecting, especially since the creep waves were coming in and somehow still managed to find their hooks in, so that's definitely great. Wonders of Ohio have found themselves a great start to the game. They already have about, 400 goal lead. It's not that important, at least for now, but this is going to be a little bit of a mental play over to the side of Barry, right? Bruno will be afraid. Mathilda is probably going to be focusing a lot onto the bottom lane, and because of the fact that Stardust actually made his way down to the bottom lane to ensure that Bruno have a safe passageway over to the lane, Lady Karma, in fact, is the one that will be the next target in the eyes of Jay. So it's constantly going back and forth. The amount of mind games that Wonders of Ohio is going for is crazy.
Oh, Yon, one more hit. He goes down as well, trading himself for Hayabusa. But Jay, on the other hand, unable to get alive. Maxi will be able to chase him down.
A 1-for-2 trade, definitely something great for Barry ever since the game started. And now they did manage to pull things off a little bit for them. Yon does have a single death to his name, while User also have a single death to his name. And doesn't seem like that is going to be the end just yet, as Stardust as well as Maxi did manage to oppress down onto Sammy, bring him down right underneath the turret's nose.
Well, right now, after analyzing the rotations coming on from Barry's. Ooh, but hold on a second right here. Killua, minutes away, seconds away from getting taken down. And gets sent to the graveyard. Just for now, the Turtle Dance in favor of Barry's. But actually, Wonder of Ohio turned things around. Turtle is favoring on their side.
This is the problem though. Wonders of Ohio doesn't have a lineup that is very good at opening up the brushes. But somehow, they still manage to do something about this. Wait, who's the one that threw the turtle again? It kind of seems that it's Hayabusa.
It could have been, yeah.
Well, once we take a look.
I missed that too.
Yeah, once we look at Hayabusa, if the Hayabusa does have the bubble, that means that we know who is the one that took the turtle. And for now, we're just going to be focusing a little bit more about economy, right? Because Barry, they do have a better economy than Wonders of Ohio. So their amount of damage output is definitely going to be something that Wonders of Ohio should be afraid of.
But understanding that Barry's actually has an early game composition coming in, especially with the Joy pick, Wonders of Ohio is going to be struggling a little bit in the early game. But we cannot discount the fact that Wonders of Ohio is a very late game draft. Oh, it does look like Yon gets a lot. Yeah. I was thinking that Yon has that bubble.
Yeah.
So, oh, Jay!
What?
Lands that hook onto Maxi. Sammy finishes.
That's illegal!
Was that a map hack?
That is illegal!
We'll see a P coming in.
Definitely not. I think that's a blind hook, but somehow it still managed to work out.
Yeah, just checking the brushes.
Yeah, just checking the brush, really.
Just another day for Franco. Just
another day, another hook.
Hein Wilhelm.
Not going to be expecting much going on in the EXP lane. Hen will want to make his way around the map as much as possible, considering the fact that Joy does have crazy amount of movement speed. If anything were to happen in the middle lane, he can make his way down to the middle lane as fast as possible. No problem. Because Barry, they do have a lineup that is really darn good when it comes down to split pushing. They are pretty good when it comes down to ganking as well. They can definitely respond to one another real quickly, regardless of which lane is the one that have actions going on. So Barry's reinforcement is definitely going to be faster. So Wonders of Ohio, they need to play ahead of time. They need to ensure that whatever that they are looking out for is always going to be ahead of time. If Wonders of Ohio is going to play a fight for a longer periods of time, they know that they are definitely going to lose. In the meantime, let us take a look at the second turtle that could be upcoming soon. As the turtle is now going to be executed by Yon, but here comes the electrifying beat as well as the circling eagle. It kind of seems as though the starters will definitely want to pour things out a little bit while longer. But right now, it is going to be the turtle that have eventually went down. Stardust did manage to get himself a single kill to his name. And Wonders of Ohio is starting to get themselves a, well, unfortunately, backhand.
This was a very good fight favoring the side of Berries. I mean, take a look at how Joy zones out the member of Wonders of Ohio. Unfortunately, Yon does get the turtle in the end. However, dealing a lot of damage with the beats, electro beats, coming in from Joy is a little bit too much for Wonders of Ohio to handle in the early stages of the game. Will be a lot going down right now. A little bit more of the pathing and staying together. And what I really like about Wonders of Ohio is that they stay together as a unit. Wherever Franco goes, he never strays too far ahead of Beatrix. This pushes Matilda in as a babysitting duty with that Bruno.
I mean, ultimately, I believe that whatever that we are looking out for is going to be an aggression coming in from the fact that Berries, they are undoubtedly really strong in the early stages and the mid stages of the game. Whatever that they would want to do is always try to put out aggression, aggression, and aggression. Damage after damage after damage. While for the side of Wonders of Ohio, they mainly would want to play things relatively defensive. As much as possible, they need to hold on to the fights as long technically as long as possible. And if they do not do anything from that point in time, then that is definitely going to be a little bit harder for them to play. In the meantime, one thing that we definitely want to look out for is the fact that right now the gold economy is in favor for Barry, but Wonders of Ohio, they may be able to find something to work out for themselves, as they do have Sammy that managed to bring one person down over to the side of Barry, and of course have managed to tally out the scoreline and as well as the economy.
Ooh, it looks like Wonders of Ohio already zoning out and getting in all of these early easy objectives. This Bruno though, damage is starting to show. Yon in his spot of bother. Maxi tries to finish up the job. He is living on a pixel of health. Does get shut down by Yon. But the rest of it, oh, Hayabusa coming in with the ultimate.
There's going to be 2% down from the side of Wonders of Ohio, while Barry only have 1% taken down. It kind of seems like Barry, they're just going to be pushing all the advantage as much as possible onto the Lilia. And down goes the Lilia. Barry have got a massive amount of damage onto their sleeves, and they are not afraid to show it.
Now, the economy is slowly but surely tilting in the favor of Barry's.
It's very neck and neck.
Yeah, it proves that Joy, though, is a huge problem in the early game.
I think that there's a lot more into that. Barry, the entire lineup itself, very mobile. Reinforcements can come in really fast, like as I said before. Right now, the Joy only have got 2 assists, and so far it's been mostly about the pressure, the zoning that this Joy is capable of putting out. It's really about space. Spacing is something that Wonders of Ohio doesn't really quite have. Yes, in the meantime, a bite, Bloody Hunt coming in right down onto the Joy, and it kind of seems as though it got taken down almost immediately. They have been looking for this hook as well as a Bloody Hunt shot onto the Joy for the longest time possible. They haven't been able to find that, and once that person is down, the EXP lane is opened up a slight bit. And I think that Wonders of Ohio should be able to play this out a little bit better.
And that's how you probably counter heroes with high mobility. You have a Franco with a suppression right there. Maxi all alone, being sandwiched right there. And a hook. Sammy dealing a ton of damage. The taunt coming through. Maxi still living on a pixel and gets himself out to safety. But on the other side of the map, though, Sammy easily takes down that turret.
Definitely a waste for Wonder of Ohio. They almost have gotten something out of getting this kill onto Bruno. Otherwise, I mean, if they did manage to do that, it should be able to snowball into something else, and the inner turret in the top lane might have went down. Wonders of Ohio have already taken down all of the outer turrets, while Barry have only gotten down a single outer turret in the bottom lane. As such, Wonders of Ohio, they should be able to get themselves a massive amount of control in the map. And from this point onwards, this is just game territory for Wonders of Ohio. Barry's lineup is not something that they can just casually walk into the brushes, kind of the same as what Wonder of Ohio had in game number 1. As long as the control is in the hands of Wonders of Ohio, Barry would definitely have a little bit of problem.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, especially with that Franco, you don't want to walk into the brushes all willy-nilly and then get suppressed, just like what Joy did. And, I mean, Joy does not have a very excellent scaling into that late game, so shutting her down is key to victory. And speaking of which, Lady Karma gets herself out with the brilliance, but Sammy on the other side, saved by Jay on that bloody hunt. But 3 members down. 3 members are already starting up on that Lord from the side of Barry's. Bruno dealing a ton of damage. And the rest of the team of Wonders of Ohio getting zoned out by Joy. Maxi easily gets the Lord all by himself.
Completely zoned out. Wonders of Ohio is unable to do anything from this point onwards, unfortunately. With the Lord that will be marching in from the bottom lane. The top lane and the bottom and the middle lane's outer turrets is undoubtedly gonna go down real soon.
Oh, Jay with the hook!
Great hook, but unfortunately that hook is going to be onto Mathilda, and a hop, skip, and a jump is ought to be enough to get this Mathilda out of the way.
Oh, and Wilhelm's turn to jump in. I mean, understanding that the suppression wasn't used, or the bloody hunt, rather, wasn't used, Barry's should understand that that is the window of opportunity they can go in. But Jay!
That's the bloody hunt that we are looking out for. Bites down onto Lady Karma. No more Lunangs for the upcoming fight. This is going to be great for Wonders of Ohio. They should be able to defend the middle lane outer turret with much ease. While the bottom lane, it is going to be the Lancelot that's just going to be dealing with the Lord all alone, while the Fredrin heads over to the top lane to defend. So all in all, that Lord for Barry didn't do much at all. There isn't much value out of the Lord. Wonders of Ohio did splendidly and swimmingly went through all of those obstacles.
That is true. Wonders of Ohio are still in. They are still up ahead in 1 turret, although Barry easily took down that Lord. But Wonders of Ohio needs to find a way to go into that back line and take out Maxi. It's easier said than done because Maxi's damage is constantly scaling, especially when he has full funnel, especially when the team is fully funneling him. Right now, every time he gets a stack, his critical chance, his critical damage is increased, and that makes him a very possible target right now. But Jay opts to suppress onto the Matilda. Gets an easy pick-off right there.
Yep, quick little kill down onto Barry. In the end of the day, it kind of seems as though Wonders of Ohio is actually looking out for pick-offs now. They're more of a team fight team, to be honest, but they do have a little bit of a glimpse of pick-off thanks to the fact that they do have a Franco. It's a very flexible hero. As long as you land a hook, that's a pick-off. Whenever you land a bloody hunt, that's a pick-off. So whatever it is, Wonders of Ohio will want to find this kind of oppression down on the opponent's side. But right now, it kind of seems as though Made in Ohio is just going to be taken down by the hands of Lady Karma. There are definitely a lot of mistakes coming from Wonders of Ohio. They are undoubtedly underestimating the power of Barry, the amount of damage that they're capable of putting out for. But right now, it kind of seems like the Bloody Hunt is going to be connecting on to Maxi. The game of catching and tag is going to be won by Wonders of Ohio as Jay gave him the death touch.
Vader.
Your team destroyed a turret.
Dan MC malam keluar depan 6 dan 7 pada sedikitnya.
Vader. Vader.
sightseeing tour bus and we're going to see around Taipei and see what it looks like at night. And actually, right, on this bus you can actually claim alcoholic or non-alcoholic drinks depending on what you like.
Yep.
So before we start, let's claim our drinks.
Let's go. Actually nice, guys.
Vader.
Your team destroyed a turret.
It's trickier to be seen these days.
This is about you. So many amazing, talented artists out there. I want to use my platform to push them into the world.
Welcome back to the Asia Esports Festival online. My name is Big Daddy Churros. With me here is Uncle Abstract, and we are bringing you another exciting matchup. And this time, we are going to Malaysia.
I blame you.
Why? Why?
I blame you. Maybe that's why everyone's calling me Abstract Gong Gong now.
If you guys don't know, Abstract is my mentor. He's been in the industry for ages. But you know what's funny? We're basically the same age.
Yeah, we are. It's not basically, but we are
the same age. We are the same age. And yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. When's the last time you've been to Malaysia, Abstract?
Honestly, I think it was like a few months ago. Just, you know, casual one-day trip. Just go over, eat, come back.
Oh man, like JB is my new hangout spot now. Like, go there, nice massages, eat looks. You know, get some shishas down. Go there. Really fun times in Malaysia. And this time around, we are going to be watching two teams from Malaysia battling out for that top spot. That spot in that grand finals where they'll be facing up against the Wonders of Ohio. Basically, Wonders of Ohio are the Singaporean teams, but what is this Ohio meme? Do you know?
There's a meme?
There's a meme about Ohio.
There's another meme about Daniel Zhang.
Yes, I know. Okay, I shouldn't say this on stream, but like, I saw his Instagram on stream, like with the chat that time.
Oh, you actually
and then,
did?
Yeah. And then he was like some pro player from Indonesia, and then like everyone was just saying, "Hey, do you know Dan Zhang? Dan Zhang." Yeah, but like he's Jakarta. I think he represented Jakarta one time in some Mobile Legends competition, and he was quite good. But speaking of good, we will need to see how good the Terrifier 10 and Team Lamar is as compared to the game we watched just now. What do you think about the different strategies that are played out in Malaysia? I've never casted a Malaysian game before, or yet.
But so, now you're about to.
I'm about to.
Okay, so what I can say is that as far as I'm concerned, the Malaysian games, or rather the Malaysian ones that I casted the week before last week, was definitely one of the best games in the entirety of Asia Esports Festival.
Right.
Yeah. So whatever that they are throwing out for me, whatever that I'm seeing is like another level. And I think that there's definitely a point where the Malaysians, they are definitely better in the game when it comes down to mechanics, drafting, as well as the mechanics, drafting, fundamentals, quite a lot of things that they are undoubtedly good at. So honestly, when it comes down to Malaysia versus Malaysia, we might be able to see a little bit of a different kind of drafting for them. But when it comes down to Malaysia versus Singapore, we should be able to tell exactly which region is definitely technically quote-unquote stronger, you know, since it will be Singapore versus Malaysia after all.
Right. I think it's very interesting that you pointed out. The thing I learned most about Malaysia was from Todak, and understanding how Todak drafts. They're always playing these off-meta, these new kinds of champions. And I've spoken to Amox before, and they say that like sometimes they would like to pick something that is off the tables because most teams will try to prepare for the meta heroes.
Yes, that is right.
And all these heroes that are off-meta, like a potentially a Zilong or a Mia, most teams might forget or overlook that they know how to handle them. But in the later stages of the game, they just show up and bam, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm looking forward to. Some interesting drafts coming up from the Malaysian side.
Indeed.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's really interesting to just potentialize what they might pick out and how the games might go. But yeah, it's that. Yeah.
I would want to see some of these off-meta heroes.
Yeah.
But I do not want to see some heroes.
I know. Actually, you know, Abstract, if you guys don't know back home, Abstract's most hated hero, like not he should be sitting in a ban pool, he should be out of the game totally, is Cyclops. And because he thinks that Cyclops is useless. And then I've been asked that question before, what hero do I hate the most?
What's yours?
And then I've got to say, it is a Eudora.
Oh,
yeah, it's also
okay.
a mage, but I think Cyclops does a little bit more than what a Eudora can offer.
No.
Really?
No.
No, I mean you basically play a bushwhack position. If I can find out where you are in the bush, I can take you out. You have no escape mechanism. You have a single target stun, but that's about it. The damage you deal is basically from the early game, but if I can seek you out, basically you're just dead to me.
That's okay. So at least when it comes down to Cyclops, he still have mobility. He can run. I can understand that, yes. But when it comes down to instant gratification in a team fight.
Instant gratification.
Let's look at that, all right? Eudora, you know, enemies come close to me. You know, like you said before, this game is all about, you know, the combat mechanics is underneath the turret. If enemies overextend, then they should die. So Eudora is the perfect embodiment of that, right? If the opponent comes too close, yep, second skill, stun him, right down on the ground, receives 2 turret shots.
Well, I mean, it's easier for Cyclops to get his power spike items. Just build up his second skill. I think we're babbling too much on Cyclops and Eudora.
Yep, we can go on all day. The draft is not done yet. We can take this time to talk about how bad Cyclops is.
But I'm interested to know, what is your most favorite hero in this current meta?
Benedetta.
Still Benedetta?
Still Benedetta.
Why so?
Lots of mobility. lots of space that can buy for a single.
Do you think
for
there's like a
team.
small glitch in the Benedetta? They built Petrify. I think you didn't know this until like recently only, right?
Electro Final Blow with Petrify, somehow it flickers. or something
Basically,
like
the
that.
entire length of, or not entire length, maybe like 80% of the length of Electro Final Blow has that Petrify effect.
I think that is actually very normal.
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
exactly a bug per se, because
It
it's like
is-
so fast
Yeah.
that anyone that's in the lane, or rather anyone is in the
Right, if you
Electro
break
Final
it down to game mechanics, and then your hitbox goes
Yeah.
there, and then
Hit-
Benedetta
like the
travels
entire
through.
hitbox, that is the entire hitbox. So, and it's very forgiving as well.
Right, right.
Very,
right,
very
right.
forgiving.
Interesting, interesting.
But there was like this bug that I saw. I'm not too sure whether it's actually a bug or actually it's just the Gong Gong eyes hitting me. But I saw that there was this one player went for the Electro Final Blow, and then he has Petrify, no flicker. But then I was like, wait, did he just flicker on the Electro Final Blow? Because he was, let's say he was here, and then he finishes here. And then somehow the Electro Final Blow is supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
The Electro Final Blow was here. It's like away from his original position.
Wait, how?
I don't know.
That's a mystery. That is a wonder in
Of
Ohio. More and more dad jokes. Oh man.
But yeah, that's I will believe that one's a bug, but the Petrify on the Electro Final Blows are not exactly a bug. Probably intended.
Yeah.
But if they ever were to like patch that out, then we'll know that it is a bug. But you know what is not a bug?
What's it not a bug?
Cyclops being trash.
Well, Cyclops is a brawl hero. He's a very brawly kind
Yes,
of
you
hero.
can only play him in Brawl.
You can only... Can't believe I'm saying this, but like, yeah, most of the time you use him in Brawl, but like, if you play your ranked games like a Brawl and constantly just fight in one lane, and Cyclops is constantly protected by at least one support hero, and you have
I would agree. Cyclops would be great.
is good.
Yeah, Cyclops would be great.
That's why.
But we
he
don't
was
have a
sort of like
competitive Brawl, do we?
He has a very, very long, unreliable stun. He has the floating balls that fly off in any of the directions.
Yes, indiscriminately.
Indiscriminately. I hear him saying this a lot of times, but like today is the 17th of December. There is something special going on in Mobile Legends now. And as a marksman main...
They removed Cyclops?
No. They're reworking and remaking Hanabi. How many of you guys are excited about the Hanabi remake right there? Are you excited?
Isn't that like the spellcaster Hanabi or something?
What spellcaster?
Like Hanabi becomes great only because she's like casting spells, and she's no longer like an auto attack marksman
She
anymore.
is still basically an auto attack marksman.
But she deals more damage with her spells.
No.
No?
The
Okay, that
so
means I'm
basically-
slightly outdated then.
Yeah, basically the passive for Hanabi, which is every
It's like
time you
swap
hit,
to the first lane.
yeah,
First
swap
hero,
to
right?
the first skill.
First skill.
So the passive right after the rework is basically your blades just bounce off from enemies to enemies. Your first skill is a small little purify with additional shield.
Yeah,
So you
okay.
can sort of purify yourself. It's sort of like a discount
1-1
1-1.
kind of thing,
Yeah, sort of like a discount 1-1
Discount
kind of thing.
1-1, yeah.
And then your second skill is still the lame thing where you
throw the
throw
kunai.
the kunai and you get a little bit of mana,
Yeah.
which is basically should be a dash. It should be a freaking dash.
I mean, he's got the first skill.
Oh, but
does
the ultimate though, the ultimate is cool though.
Instant gratification now,
Instant
right?
gratification.
It's all about the instant gratification,
All about
guys.
instant gratification, guys. Oh man, and then there's so many things that Moonton is doing in the later seasons or the new updates coming in. I still have have access to the advanced server, so I'm looking at a lot of things. There's the new hero that's coming up, Arlo.
Oh, yeah.
Arlo, have you tried it out
Nope.
in the advanced server?
Nope.
Pretty cool.
I
pretty
try
cool.
not to touch the advanced server.
Why?
I get confused.
No, but it's cool. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. But I was actually looking forward to like how the new battle spell systems, not battle spells, like the battle emblem system works. But they
Didn't
haven't.
they scrape it off?
Yeah, I think they scraped it off because I think there was too many variations.
Yeah, way too
So
much.
you have like delayed gratification because you need to test everything else. It's all about gratification now. All about that pleasure when
Yes.
you first use it,
Yes.
and stuff like that. But there is gonna be new patches that's coming in with the itemizations. The new combo is with the Demon Hunter Sword, Golden Staff, and the Corrosive Scythe.
Okay.
So
Corrosive Scythe?
Yeah, Corrosive Scythe. So Corrosive Scythe, you know that small little spear
Yeah.
pre-item that you built?
Oh, okay.
It's now buffed up with additional attack speed.
Okay.
And additional, I think it was movement speed,
Mo-
as well
okay.
as a little bit more damage.
All right.
So
all right.
then your
more expensive as well?
Little bit more.
Okay.
A little bit more. But it's sort of like the the attack item equivalent of the steel-plated leggings, where you see a lot of people will buy the steel-plated leggings just for the early stage defense.
Yep.
This time around, a lot of people will buy the Demon Hunter sword, that new variation of sub-item that comes through.
Right.
So the damage next is nasty. So like I'm expecting a lot in the next couple of metas that Mia becomes finally viable. We see like extremely meta right now. I mean, anything can be said, right? Like Leslie is meta now. It is interesting that I didn't see a Leslie here yet.
Alright, that's true.
I've always seen like Leslie's running around the battlefield.
Yep.
Every single time I cast. Every single time I cast.
Okay.
Or like every single time I watch any players on stream in Mobile Legends.
Right.
So it's quite interesting.
Yep. I mean, we have blabbered along quite a lot, and unfortunately the game is not quite ready yet. So in the meantime, we're just going to throw off for a short little break, and once we are back, we promise that we'll be able to give you a instant gratification game.
Oh man, again.
Now I'm trying to find my musical identity.
The anxiety of if I'm good enough.
My brain goes off as a creative in like 100 different directions, thinking about 100 million different things at once.
I don't really have anyone to like bounce things off of.
Right now, together with JBL, our main goal is to inspire, to educate, to be a safe place and give new creatives a voice.
It's difficult to make your voice heard.
I would like my music to reach more people.
I can honestly say music is my passion, and I would not see myself doing anything different.
Try to be up there, try to be focused, try to be sharp, try to always reinvent yourself.
This is your moment to dare. Dare to strut, to self-care, or not care. Dare to turn up and unwind and try again and again. Because when you dare to live your truth, you dare the world to listen.
Give me silence, silence, I just need your touch. Know your violence, violence hides on the tip of your tongue. In the darkness, darkness, we go on and on. Always under pressure. When you talk like that, no, you make me see red. Still end up in my bed. No, I want that sweat.
For me, working on the set list for Tomorrowland, I'm just thinking to myself, what do I want to hear when I'm in the crowd? When you have the amazing stage, the fireworks, all the craziness. That's how I prepare for the set. For me, every set is different. It's very important to read the crowd, to feel the energy in the room, and to adapt your set and your track list on that. I cannot imagine my life without music. So for me, a playlist is the soundtrack to your life, in a way. When I start my set at Tomorrowland, I know which new songs I want to play, but everything else in between for me is a big mystery. I know my intro and my outro, and for me that's the exciting thing. It's a puzzle, and depending on the crowd's response, depending on the energy, depending on how they feed off the previous songs that I played, I try to take them on a journey.
Okay, guys, let me just dial in real quick. How does that sound? You're right. Yeah.
Hey, you said it, not me. Yeah. Hey, he knows what I'm talking about.
Tony, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, really. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm out. Thanks for supporting Stream Dream. Catch y'all later.
They were having a huge sale today, so you know I had to stock up on everything. And I came across this amazing eyeshadow, and you guys are gonna absolutely love this look.
It is going to make you glow.
So I'm going to use this one right here.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Asia Esports Festival online. My name is Big Daddy Churros. With me here is Abstract Gong Gong. Here bringing you live from the studio. Another exciting Malaysian matchup right now. We are midway through, or like seconds away from watching the Malaysia qualifiers, the winner of which is going to be facing up against Wonders of Ohio, the winners of the Singapore qualifiers. Malaysian teams are Terrifier 10 and Team Lemah. It's going to be interesting because we have talked about the potential meta picks that are coming up, the difference in strategies between the two countries, and what to look out for and what not to. So it will be a very, very fun run. So if you're back home enjoying this stream, remember, grab a bite, grab some popcorn, and just relax, enjoy the show.
We do have, of course, the first series that is done and dusted. We have already crowned who is going to be fighting against the Malaysia side, Wonders of Ohio. Undoubtedly, game number 1 was very convincing, but game number 2 was a little bit tougher on them. But fortunately for them, they because of the Franco, Jay, shout out over to you, great hooks all the way through. They managed to completely dismantle their opponents one after another and made the opponents kind of like come in one after another as well. One hook, second hook, third hook, all 3 hooks. Somehow they all connected, and that was absolutely masterful play. And the question is if whether we're going to see something like that on the Malaysian side. Are we going to be looking at the game of our lives, or is it going to be so different when it comes down to meta, as well as the different kind of ways that they play that we're just not too used to?
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. I mean, Jay went out fishing today. He landed so many big, huge catches, huge bloody hunts, directly on the win conditions of the opponent's team. And they will be definitely watching this stream because they want to see how well Team Lemah or Terrifier 10 does and craft a strategy to be able to adapt to the grand finals game, which is going to be happening. It's going to be a best of 5, so they are able to test water for maybe 2 games. Maybe 2 games. And then prove themselves to see if they are able to hold up to the Malaysian standards or the Malaysians' type of strategies. And I remember that I've heard Team Lemah before. From a good friend of ours, I think Nash. He used to be coaching for the Team Lemah side. And I've seen them scrim for a little bit more. So I remember that they are very, very structured. They are able to adapt on the fly. So that is something that I'm looking forward to watching in the next games coming up.
Right, so undoubtedly, I gotta have to say the upcoming games are definitely gonna be great to watch. Maybe we'll be able to see something like Jay, shooting fish in a barrel. Maybe for the Malaysian side, something will be a little bit different. I don't know, but I am absolutely stoked to see what is about to come. Now, when it comes down to the drafting, I remember that, yes, definitely there are a couple of heroes that I think is more of a different kind of win condition and the way that they play things, different kind of play style per se. Not necessarily like brand new heroes that we don't see a lot. Maybe there are some other heroes that is definitely meta, but we don't see in the Singaporean side as much. That kind of stuff, right? Maybe Glue is a hero that we can see more. Mincitar, perhaps. Maybe Harith. We were talking about Harith previously just now as well.
Yeah, it's so cute, like Harith and Joy being in the same team. If you have I think the perfect matchup for me will be a team full of like mobility heroes. They just ban out Kaja and Franco, so no suppression ability to stop them. And then you have maybe a Lancelot, a 1-1,
a Joy,
Benedetta, and then like just full on just dashes all the way through. It's basically you in front of a pool in Jurong Lake Gardens after after a heavy rain, and you're like bombarded with mosquitoes. And the only thing that can stop them is demonic force with Astaroth.
Just Astaroth's eye, and they're just gonna. I'm pretty sure that Miley Cyrus will be super happy about that.
Oh my.
True love is like
your
blood.
team is banning.
To me,
Your team
fun
is
all that
banning.
matters.
I didn't cure the pain. Your team is banning.
Sir, what's your command?
Your team is picking.
Time to drop the beat
Your
of the
team
clutch.
is picking.
Among the planes exists an equilibrium, which
Your
I
team
was
is
made
picking.
for.
I am the power of light
Your
incarnate.
team
And
is
it will soon
picking.
be your burial ground.
A joy.
Right. So at this point in time, what we can see is Joy, we've got Lapu Lapu as well as Kaja. I think I hear a
Beatrix.
Beatrix. All right. So Beatrix is definitely going to be the hero that we're trying to look out for on the side of Team Lamar. Now, I can understand the Lapu Lapu pick against the Fredrin. Lapu
Yes.
Lapu is a hero that can definitely, quote-unquote, bully the Fredrin. He does have a wide range when it comes down to throwing both of his swords.
Yes.
He does have the sustainability in lane as well. Will be able to sustain, out-sustain over Fredrin. Fredrin is a very safe pick, yes. But Lapu Lapu is a step above when it comes down to having safeness in his laning potential. He does have a little bit of stun onto himself when it comes down to Bravest Warriors. So at least if he really needs to deal with the Yve, and if the Yve happens to be the front lines, that would be great. Otherwise, Kaja is available if he really have to go for the Divine Judgment onto the Yve, which I don't think that he would.
Okay, so it does look like they're hovering onto that Ruby, which is sort of like a soft counter to the Joy. You see, every single time Joy dashes right in front of your face, all that Ruby needs to do is just to delay her rhythm. You need to build up that rhythm, and for Joy to be able to do that in front of Ruby is going to be more easier said than done.
She
It's,
does have a
it's
crowd
very hard.
control immunity, right?
No,
No?
not with Joy, not with Joy. But basically, the only thing
I
that
thought
brings
that
down
she
a
does
Joy
have
is
one.
a crowd control.
Or was it only during electrifying beats?
Only, I think, only during electrifying beats. Yes.
Research time.
All right, so while he does his research, it will be the Lilia and the Bruno on the side of Terrifier 10, and I do like their lineup. This is very smart because they banned out that Franco, knowing that Franco might be one of the only few other heroes that would be able to bring down this Joy. But Joy, you have to understand her mechanics. She does very well in early games whenever she gets to level 4, her power spike. And once she has electrifying beats, that's 8 massive hits of damage that it's very difficult to get away from. They are going to be solidifying the last pick with a Ling. So on the side of Team Lamar, they have a very balanced draft. They have the Ruby for crowd control. They have a lot of late game insurance in Ling as well as Beatrix. A little bit of a zone out potential coming in from Yves, and a very, very tanky front line in that Fredrin, but in the later stages of the game. But on the side of Terrifier 10, it does look like they are having a glass cannon kind of build. Very, very burst damage heavy and very early game oriented. So it's up to them whether or not they are able to fight their way through that early game.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deploy the game.
a very comfortable position, just taking over control of Team Lama's jungle right now. The only answer for Team Lama is split push, but it's so difficult to do as Amal, only level 9, facing up against the rest of Terrifier 10, and just the suppression, the divine judgment that Minjal has on you is going to set you back in a position of uncomfortability, so to speak. And Hasbulla, in a bad position right there, a little bit too close for comfort, does get almost taken down by Joy, get taken down by Joy. The Electro Beast keeping her so alive.
This is why she's so annoying. What kind of hero have dashes with skill, with armor, shield, and also does have magical life steal?
That is Harith as well. So, but it's super cute, like Joy and Harith.
I mean, not wrong.
Being like two peas in a pod, right?
Yeah, 2 peas in a pod, really.
They're so cute together.
Oh boy.
Don't you think so?
I do think so.
You know, Team Lama already using all of their ultimates just to clear their lanes. The first Lord of the battle is starting up, and it's going over to the side of Terrifier 10. Look how fast that damage is done on that Lord, just taking them down like it's nothing.
Immediately busted down in just 8 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Team Lamar have already lost all of their outer turrets, and the only ones left when it comes down to the inner turrets is going to be the middle lane and the top lane. With the Lord that will be marching down in the bottom lane, this is going to be tough, especially since they can't pull anymore. The Lord gonna come now.
Little bit of a zoning out right now, and a lane freeze coming in from Terrifier 10. They want to be able to take down at least all of the tier 2 turrets and deal decent amounts of damage to Team Lama's tier 3s. It will be hard for Team Lama to defend this, but with 2 tanky front lines, with that Ruby and the Fredrin, it will be a little bit easier on them. But on the bottom side though, the damage onto Amal.
Wow. Just gonna have to throw a recall over to the side of Ling, and Ling gonna have to go back home to try to defend for this imminent push. As the Lord pushes down the middle lane, pushes down the bottom lane, the middle lane will eventually be pushed out as well. Terrifier 10, they can eventually just dive themselves onto Team Lamar if they really want to. As right now, Goldilocks, he's trying to force his advantage onto the Lilia, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be doing quite much. As now the RWM is just going to be popping up, coming from the side of Zeph. That will be enough to kind of zone the enemies from the side of Terrifier 10 a little bit, and of course, deal a good chunk of damage out of their health.
Terrifier 10 manages to take down that mid lane tier 3. Team Lama defending it for now. 90 seconds, they need to be able to find as much farm as they possibly can. But it will be very, very challenging considering that Terrifier 10 already has full control of their jungle. But as long as you can take one member down from Terrifier 10, you are in a position where the rest of your team are able to maximize your potential and cycle the rest of the enemies. So Team Lama, we can't just write them off just yet. Terrifier 10 still has a little bit more of a control right now, but Team Lama, they have all the mechanics able to defend through to that next fight.
As the rest of the members from Terrifier 10, they are all just going to be holding themselves inside of a brush, waiting for the perfect time to eventually launch an attack onto Team Lamar. An ambush is probably what they're looking for. Even though they have a 9,000 gold lead, they still do not want to be overly aggressive, and they do not want to be overextending themselves. But now the Team Lamar, they're just going to be putting themselves inside of the jungle, and Terrifier 10 seems to already know of that fact. Minjal went straight in with the Divine Judgment, and Hasbulla is taken down. The front line is essentially gone. Just going to be left with Goldilocks.
Oh man, Hasbulla, I mean, if you use your Ammo Fender to check on the brushes, and just pray that there's an enemy there, just so that your team is able to be put in a better position to take them down. It is a very, very risky play. And of course, Hasbulla gets punished for wasting that ultimate just on that bush check.
Well, it doesn't seem like Terrifier 10 is able to do... Team Lamar is able to do much after the Lord has been taken down. And in the end of the day, Team Lamar, they're just going to be working their way and trying to defend against Terrifier 10. It's going to be tough. with the Lord marching in the middle lane, and top and bottom lane is just going to be moving in tandem. Terrifier 10 is undoubtedly just going to be focusing everything onto the heroes and trying to bring them down as much as possible. Shakir, what was that?
It was fountain farming. Oh my goodness me. Shakir just happily willy-nilly just running around, and all this while Minjo just waiting for that right target. Super Zed standing back and dealing so much damage. The throw will be aimed on, and Terrifier 10 takes game number 1. That's a perfect 10, man.
That is a crazy game.
To prove themselves, and we said this so many times before. The first game is always a sort of like test water game to see how well the opponent's team will be able to react to your current strategies, and then how well you're able to adapt. As Team Lamar, I will be afraid of the fact that Terrifier 10, they played the draft so well. They picked up that Joy, knowing that, okay, they gave up that Kaja. They are going to be picking up that Kaja, knowing that Kaja is basically a counter to that. They banned out the Franco. So it's a counter pick, a counter ban, and they leveraged on Team Lamar's sort of like breakdowns and capitalize on that. Picking out that Kaja and that Joy, it's going to be a menace in your jungle. So in the early stages of the game, they are going to show that aggression. And I thought that Fredrin was going to be in the jungle position, but at the last minute, they opt for that Ling.
Not a fan.
Not a big fan of that draft.
Especially since there was